طب يلا بنعلي. Go live. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Let me know if you can hear me and see my screen. We are live on YouTube, ready to start our trading day. Wonderful, guys. Thanks so much. So we can go on. Okay, I already see some familiar names. That's great. Hey, John, Yoda, David. Okay, so let's dive right to it. Today we are actually going to do pre-market preparation just to show you how I usually do it. You obviously have the videos on YouTube as well, the whole series of pre-market preparation. But today we're gonna do it from A to Z, doing it live, so it will be more effective for you guys. So first thing, I'm gonna start by analyzing the market. And before I want to find the right stocks to trade, I want to understand the direction of the market for a specific day. Obviously, since we are day traders, um, it could go up and then turn to the downside and so on. But I want to have like a general perspective on the market. So I start with the NQ. The NQ is the future index for the future for the index of the Nasdaq, and I'm looking at usually analyzing it on a 1H or a 4H, depends on the time frame I want to check if it's a swing trading or day trading. Usually I will start with the 1H. It will be the right one for me. If I won't see a specific points that I want to mark on a 1H, I will go to the 4H and so on. So NQ, NASDAQ 100. You can also take the QQQ, the ETF for the S&P 500. So the symbol is QQQ. And you can analyze it as well. What I like about the futures that are running, they are running 24 and 23 hours a day. So you don't have any gaps, almost any gaps. So a quick look. Usually on when it comes to futures, I don't look for any indicators besides the MACD and maybe one or two EMAs, exponential moving average. Other than that, I use just trend lines or horizontal lines, as you can see here. So we can see that the Nasdaq has been trading in a downtrend with inside of a range of a channel. Right now, we're quite in the middle of that range, looking looking pretty good to the downside, I can say, when analyzing the price section. I might be wrong here, obviously, but as far as I see it at the moment, it looks good to head down. And obviously, if it will continue down, the next major support level should be around the 12,000. So in this case, we got plenty of room to the downside, about 150 points to the downside. And if we will break the 1200, we will probably reach the 11,950, 11,950, reaching the lower point of the channel. Obviously, since we are looking to day trade, we don't really need to analyze other levels below it. But since I'm doing some swing trading as well, you can see that I have also a major level here at 11,750. that if we will test it, that could be a nice potential move to the upside after we will see that it's holding. So at the moment, looking pretty good to the downside. Maybe a nice momentum move to the downside at the beginning of the trading day, and then a bounce around that 12,000. Also like to look at the ES. The ES is the S&P 500 future, and here it will probably look pretty much the same. As you know, Nasdaq and S&P going quite smoothly together. You can see that we've been trading in a nice channel. We broke through it, tested, almost tested, and then bounced up again, broke the level, went all the way down, and right now we're holding really the bottom of the level. So in the S&P case, if we won't see a move to the upside, it will show us that the price should break that point and maybe retest it and then drop again to the downside, continue the trend, the major trend facing down. As you can see, the first bounce that we had from that line was a nice momentum bounce, but it got rejected as soon as we reached the first major resistance level, dropped again to the same line, but couldn't make a significant move to the upside like in the first time. So this should indicate that the price or the buyers are getting weaker, and that means that if the price will drop and broke through that level, we should continue to the downside. I need to mark the levels, the upcoming levels. Let me take the 4H for that. So this is the one that we are holding right now. The second one should be, it's not a specific level, more of a area around the 3,800, 3,840, around the area that I'm holding right now. So this could be also a potential place to look for buyers to come in and push the price up again. And again, when we're talking about, we're analyzing the NQ and the ES, we're talking about a lower time frame. So a day, 2 days, maybe 3 days, not more than that. Or, you know, the Nasdaq could easily drop to the 12,000 within an hour and then bounce everything up on the second hour. So don't count on a huge move to the up or downside, or at least not a long run. Okay, when we're done doing that, we will go to the VIX. The VIX is the volatility index. And what I want to see is basically it goes with a negative correlation to the S&P. And I do want to see the trend, obviously, but also support resistance levels of the VX. As you can see, I have two indicators here, the EMAs. One is 200, the other one is 420. I will write it down in the chat. So I'm looking at 200 EMA and I'm looking at 420 EMA. Those two are great to have on the chart. Could easily be support or resistance levels. Say you can pretty much see it right now. Look at the 200, let's say the green one, how they played. Also the Turkish one play here as resistant, resistant, resistant. Every time we reach that point, we dropped again. So those kind of levels could be helpful when we are day trading as well. And if the price will drop down on the VIX, it should reach those areas of 24.2, around those levels. That means if the price will drop, the Nasdaq and the S&P will continue higher. But then when it uh, hold that position and will bounce from it, we should see a drop in the market. So it's basically work the opposite. If you think that the price of the VIX will continue higher, then the price of the S&P and the Nasdaq will drop. Okay, so at the moment it's kind of in the middle of the range. I don't have a lot of bias on the VX. We will have to see. Like I said, Nasdaq and the S&P looking pretty bearish to me, at least at the moment. Again, they're moving kind of sideways, but showing a little bit of weakness. This is why I would expect them to drop and maybe at the bottom around the 12,000 bounce up again. When we're done doing that, we can continue to the stocks, to our scanners. Now, you can use, obviously, for those of you with us in Traderpool, Trader of Traderpool have this proprietary trading platform, and you can use the scanners and also build your own watch list from those 3004 stocks and ETFs that we have. So I can do that and look for the ones that are popping up, major volume. Again, we are at right now it's 8:40 in New York, so we got plenty of time until the opening bell, and you can already see some stocks that have a volume of half of a million, more than half of a million. That's amazing, or even 2 millions, as you can see here on the NBEV. So those kind of stocks could be a potential movers for today. We can either sort the column by the table by volume or by change, either change with percentage or just a dollar change. So when I'm doing that, you can see that, for example, Tesla is already up $2.6. Not a lot of volume, so just a normal day at Tesla. But in other days, you might see half of a million shares or even a million shares, like 30, 40 minutes before the opening bell. And you will probably see also the change of a little bit more than those $2.7. So what I'm looking for is basically those stocks that are moving strongly, significantly, and other than that, a volume coming in, strong volume coming in, pushing the price up or down. Triple BY could be a potential stocks for today, definitely. In a minute, we'll go to the other scanner that I have here, and we can look for those gappers as well. So let's see it here. Okay, so what I'll do is just go to the pre-market movers. Again, it's a bit early. Usually I'll do this analysis and pre-market preparation like 20, 30 minutes before the opening bell. So we are a bit early, but you can easily see that we already have some stocks that move in strongly and have huge volume. Like I said, triple BY. Let me clear those charts for a second. Just a sec. Okay, so triple BY. You can see the pre-market on a 1 minute chart. I'm looking at a 1 minute chart, pre-market. On Friday, it closed at 8.6. Today, dropping to 7.3. The lowest was at 646. That's a nice move to the downside, and huge volume coming in, 2.4 at the moment. So this could be a potential stock for us to trade. We will analyze it in a second. FWBI, also a small cap, $3.65, but you can see the volume more than 2 million. So that's a nice a potential move again. Look how pretty it was when it went from the beginning of the pre-market from 3.19 all the way to 4.6. That's a dollar something on a $3 stock. That's great. And maybe yeah, we can continue to watch Tesla. It should open with a gap up, but I don't see any major news coming for Tesla. But we do have the volume and a nice move to the upside. Let me see if I have other scanners that might pop up. Different stocks, maybe downgrades or upgrades. Yeah, a bit early, a bit early. So we might do another scanning just closer to the trading session. Let's take triple BY because that's definitely a potential stock for today because of the volume, because of the move. And let's analyze it. So first of all, I want to check the news and see if there's something major going on. And I hope you guys see it at home because it's a bit, the font is a bit tiny, but I will read it. So there are news coming in. Ooh, okay. CFO of Bath and Beyond died. That, that's interesting. Okay. So yeah, the CFO, Gustavo Arnel, died, and that's what we see right now in the market, or that's what we see the stocks dropping. Death ruled as suicide. Okay. So yeah, this is why we see the drop in triple BY. It's a sad, obviously, it's a sad moment and a sad story, but it's not something that if we're looking at company-wise, we're not really looking on major news for the company. Um, yeah, so it's dropping, but it's not fatal. Yeah, I see it now, John. Thanks. Suicide. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, that's a little bit rougher than just a normal death, but yeah. So anyway, when we're looking at the stock, we want to analyze it. Obviously, triple BY had a major move to the upside the last month or so. And okay, John, interesting. We'll read it in a second. And after it reached a peak at around $30, dropped all the way down. Classic manipulation, right? When they pumping up stocks, pushing it higher. Guys from Reddit and whatever, pushing the price up, and then when it's the right time, just selling everything and the price dropping down to the same exact price it was before the pump. So at the moment trading around 730 ish. What I want to do is just mark levels that I can work with and find resistance or support when we'll reach that again. So first of all, this gap is still open from around $6, 6.10. 655. We can mark those levels, and above that we can mark this gap that just got closed on Friday at around 819, 812. So those are the main levels. Other than that, we don't have anything to hold here, not support and not resistant. So those are the two things that could be interesting, those two key levels that could be interesting for our trading session today. As you can see, it's um, almost aligned with the opening of today pre-market and the lower price of the pre-market today. So it makes sense that those are the right levels. In the meanwhile, we are kind of moving in a range, but if we hit that um, resistance level, we can definitely look for the downside. Also, if we reach the support level around the 663, could be a potential move to the upside. As long as we are trading in the range, we don't have a lot to do with it. Um, so we will have to wait and see first move, a breakthrough of that range at around 750 or break the 715 area. As long as we are in that range, we don't have a lot of stuff to do with it. Let me see the news again. Okay, that I'm reading some of the news that's interesting. If we're really talking about a lawsuit of a pump and down, classic pump and down, and then this could be a potential mover for today with this volume and everything around it. Definitely a potential stock to trade today, but we gotta move from the break through this range, either break it or break through it before we make any decisions. Okay. Besides that, I saw some news regarding DWAC. DWAC is the Donald Trump company. So it's dropping down to the 19. But let's see how is the volume here. We gotta remember that if a stock moving but don't have any volume, we don't really want to trade it because the spreads between the bid and the ask would be huge, and basically low liquidity means that we can get stuck within that range. So make sure you're trading only on the high volume stocks. Let's see if I can find the DWAC around here. DWAC 200, yeah, that's a nice one. Again, we are like 40 minutes before the opening bell. 200,000 shares. We should see if we want to trade it like market. We should see it reaching around the 8,000, yeah, 9,000, maybe reaching the 1 million, 800,000, yeah, 900,000. And so, but now dropping almost $5. This could be also a potential mover. So what I want to do is just analyze it again, read some of the news. But first, let's take the 4H. Okay, I don't see anything on the 4H. We'll need to take the chart just a little bit backwards. So now trading around the 19. Yeah, we don't have a lot that we can rely on when it comes to DWAC. So if I'm not seeing anything on the 4H or the 1H, I can go to the last few days with a 15-minute chart, but the lowest here was at the 22, and right now the stock been trading at around 1960. So if we will go through, go up to the 22s around those areas, we might have a potential short around the 22 uh, major support level that we broke it today on pre-market. Let's see what are the news around it. If you guys see the news, let me know. I'm looking for it right now. I don't see it yet. Okay. DWAC shares fall. Shareholders have rejected the special proposed acquisition. Okay, so this is why they are dropping. Okay, so yeah, DWAC is outside of our range at the moment, so we'll skip that. And let me see. Yeah, Yoda, the NQ is the index, so you won't see it there. As I mentioned, you can either see it like on TradingView and stuff like that, or use QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq. Otherwise, the NQ is an index. It's the future for the index. Okay, uh, let's go back to the platform. So we said we have triple BY, and also as I see it here, NBEV. That's a very tiny stock, NBEV. So, but as you can see, it dropped. It went all the way up to 135, drop again. I usually don't trade those kind of stocks, but for those of you who like small caps, might be interesting. So I won't really trade it. And triple BY we already saw. Mm, Other than that, Tesla could be interesting. Continue to get more volume. Let's look at Snap. Had a nice run the last few days from 99 all the way $2 up. Went down on Friday about a month and a half ago like crazy after earnings. Pulled up, but then continued to the downside. Right now, just a small gap to the upside, but it might be interesting to look at it later on today. So we still got 30 minutes to go. We need to remember that usually when we come back from holidays, and yesterday the market was closed, Usually, the market will be a little bit slower than a regular day. That being said, uh, we are in a great time to trade, and the market is super volatile. So maybe they will give us a nice move today to the up or downside. So yesterday the futures was were pretty flat, went up a little bit, but nothing serious. This is why you see the volume is much lower when the stock market is closed. Then futures, although futures are open, they usually won't go too strong to either side. Okay, so now we can wait and see if there will be any other stocks coming through the scanners. Nothing major at the moment. As you can see, a lot of small caps, like a $2 stock. I usually don't trade those kind of stocks. I know some of you guys might, and that's okay. There's no one right way to trade, but I usually prefer to stay aside when it comes to those stocks. We can look at GameStop, for example. GameStop is running like a buck 21 to the downside, almost 300,000 shares. So they might be interesting to look for that stock as well. Let's pull up the chart. So right now trading at around 26. Yeah, you can see that the area is right here. I mean, between the 25.30 to the 24.85. So this area should be a nice momentum, a nice support level, and we might see a bounce from it to the upside, maybe even closing the gap, but we will see as soon as we'll get closer to that point. So kind of slow day at the moment. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them, even if it's not related to this specific pre-market prep. I want to stay with you online at least until 4:30, so we can see if there is anything new popping up in the scanner. But in the meanwhile, it's kind of flat. Those days when you do have like a flat day and you won't see any major news coming, you can trade or focus on big names such as Tesla and NVDA, BABA, Baba, Alibaba, those kind of names that you want to trade. Amazon, obviously, and Apple, Netflix, PayPal. So when you have a slow day, a slow news day, you can go to the big names because they usually move either way, with or without news. But in generally speaking, on a default level, you want to go with the ones with the news. Yoda, regarding the news on the platform, we are working on it, and you should get it um, here. It might be hopefully next week. and you want to use your own watch list. What do you mean on a grid on the charts, like the grid charts? Just connect between the watch list to the chart. Yeah, so you got this round yellow or just none, and you can just link those windows. So for example, as you can see, these are all linked, and also my watch list is linked with a yellow circle. So as soon as I click here, triple BY also changed. This is also a very nice way to easily scan as I do right now, as I'm showing you right now. So for example, you take the grid and then you go here to the watch list and just go through those stocks until you find the right one. So we watched the CME, GME, Apple. Again, lower volume like 30,000 or 100,000, it's not enough for us to trade. So those stocks, I wouldn't pay attention at least until the opening bell, and maybe there they will get more volume coming in. But other than that, I don't see a lot of movement. BABA, BABA dropping. We can watch that as well. But very slow opening for the week. Like I said, it's usually like that when it comes to opening in the middle of the week, like on Tuesday instead of Monday. We still there are still a lot of people coming from vacations. Okay, in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for the market to open, um, please make sure that you're watching the videos on YouTube in case you miss them. The pre-market preparation and the strategies. We are also preparing. Hopefully, it will be up tomorrow through the dashboard. You will be able to download important files, PDF files that will help you, ebooks and other tools that we prepare to you. So make sure you check that out as well. Yeah, so to keep the grid on top, just go to this triangle with the lines right here, click on it, and then on top. And obviously, if we're already here and you want to, let's say you have three screens or even more, you can duplicate the panel and then you can just stretch it to the other screens, move it to the other screens. So just click it on top and it will stay like this. Besides that, you have the order entry. Make sure it's also linked to the other windows. Time in sale, it's where you see the orders that have been executed already. Let's take triple BY. So you will see the orders coming in. As soon as we'll see some orders, you will see them coming in. The gainers and losers, waiting for the opening bell. Super Dome, if it's also a nice uh, way to place order and to see the letter of the prices. And you have the SPY and the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100. Below you will see the positions and the orders, the pending orders basically, and the field orders. And of course, feel free to play with it because you can add more windows. And here you can see some stats of the account and other stuff like that. So you can feel free to play with it. In settings, you have some hotkeys that you can work with if you like. Really get to know the platform, a lot of cool features. Yeah, John, you might trade SPY, DIA, Qs, ETFs, although we still need the movement. And in case the market will be flat as well, then it will be harder to trade those ETFs as well. Remember that, and this is probably one of the most important things in trading, is to analyze and understand the market sentiment before you trade that day. So, for example, this day, at least for now, right, we still got like 20 minutes before the opening bell, and things might change in the middle of the day. But when we're talking right now, this is not a good day to trade in general. I mean, we see that you don't have a lot of stocks popping up on the scanners. The market itself not really moving. So in those days, you know that you need to take a step back, at least until you see something major change. But in those days, you need to take a step back and say, okay, this is not where I will find my edge, because to find an edge in trading when you want to understand the sentiment, you need to see that there are the volume coming in, and there are a lot of stocks that are covering have some big news that move in them. So those kind of elements. And if you don't have those, then you understand that this is not the right moment to trade. It could be that in the middle of the day or at the end of the day we will see different things, but at least from this point of view, this is not a great day. You want to risk your all trading daily loss, for example. So you can still try to trade. You can still take those Tesla, Nvidia, Baba, those kind of names that probably will move anyway. But I would go with lower risk, um, just because there isn't any movement and volume. Us as day traders, we want to trade volume, we want to trade the opportunity, the volatility. And if we don't have those elements, then it's better to take a step back. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah. Okay, let's run through the scanner one more time to see if there is something major came for the last 20 to 30 minutes that we missed. Again, I'm looking for something significant. If it's not big, then it's not right. Uh, in this case, I see a nice volume coming in on NEE, and it pops up with a dollar up on upgrades of Morgan Stanley upgrade with a target all the way to 99. This could be a potential stop to follow as well. NEE. Let's see if we have it on the platform. And yeah, nothing on this side. Let's see the pre-market movers if anything changed. Still got those tiny little stocks. Triple BY Ecom. Not sure. We have it on the CBOE Ecom. Hmm. Okay, we can go with the NEE, the one that got upgraded from Morgan Stanley. Let's analyze it just a tiny bit. 86 at the moment. I will go to the 1H. It's easier on a 1H to see those levels, either gaps or just regular levels, just easier in my opinion. So you can definitely see this area around the 83, 85 getting into this major gap, but it's a bit far right now, $3 below the current price. Going higher, mm, it's not a specific point, but more of an area that I can mark around around those levels. It's a big area between 86.50 to like a 50-cent area. Could be interesting though. We are in pre-market. We had some trades over there inside of the area that we marked. Might be interesting. We need to see how it will start the day. So we got triple BY, NEE, and the others are just the market and big names like Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft, Intel, those kind of names. One of my favorite trading stock to trade on is Nvidia. Crazy moves, especially in the last month or so. Dropped from 190 all the way to 135. This day was crazy. Those 2 days were crazy. And also a few days ago at the beginning of the week. Today, pretty flat, but we could see a move after it will start the day will start. Yoda is the chance to configure the shift. Okay, let me see that. So you switched it to Chimoku. Um, mm, Let me get back to you on this one. Did you try to play with the auto and manual, and then move the chart? The last candle is too far on the right. I got you. Okay, so it's like a default. Um, I'm not quite sure. If I'm not mistaken, I saw it in the settings here. I will need to double check and get back to you on it. Somewhere in the settings of the chart, if I'm not mistaken. Neo could also be a potential mover. Yeah. Okay. Again, Nasdaq is kind of flat. Let's see if they can break through this range and drop to the 12,000. But other than that, I think we covered what we wanted. It's a shame we didn't have some nice companies, stocks to watch besides those, the one that we talked about. In most days, you will have a little bit more movers than what we are getting today. But again, the time, the holidays, and back from the from the holiday of yesterday, the Labor Day. So those things are reflected on the market. John, you're asking how often we will do it. So I guess we can do it. Generally speaking, we can do it once a week. What I'm aiming for is Monday session. Specifically, next Monday I'll be on vacation, taking a week off. But other than that, we'll keep you posted, obviously, through the Discord. Okay, Yoda, no problem. But obviously, also you can write on Discord if you have um, more questions, especially trading questions related, stocks that you found before the market open and you wanna get a review on them, trades that you made. Feel free to upload screenshots of the trades, explain why you took that trade, why you thought that's a good setup to trade, and we'll give you some feedback on them, definitely. Hi, Leman. Um, I would start by saying that I don't like this company, this stock. Traded it um, a while back. Didn't like it. Uh, 205 at the moment. So you can mark those levels at around 204, right? Just a little bit below 204. And other than that, maybe dropping the trend line from here. It's a bit of a sharp down move, but it's bouncing above it. So if it will retrace it to this level, might want to look for upside. I don't see a lot of volume coming in, so that's also a problem. So make sure before you trade it that you actually see some volume coming in. No volume, no good. Triple BY still in the range we talked about. Nothing major here. Saying Dow is dropping and Nasdaq is starting to move to the downside. Just a minute before the opening bell. Let's see RTY as well. Again, guys, the most important thing here to remember when you don't see it, when you have those red alerts kind of moments that you don't see any stocks on the scanners, you don't see a lot of news coming, not a lot of volume, the market is kind of flat. those days are the most dangerous one to trade because you don't have uh, the right elements to perform what we're doing that in a general called technical analysis. So a good thing is to step back, and again, if you saw the right setup, you can attack it by taking it slower than usual, meaning risk lower risk than take a lower risk than on a good day, trending or a strong momentum day. All right, the market is open. Yoda, it's basically said that it's in the range. It's in the middle, like a midpoint price, not the bid and not the ask. All right, guys. So I'll leave you to it. I'll be happy to see if you on Discord if you traded today. Put your screenshots and make sure that you're not just uploading a screenshot, but also typing in the the important stuff. Why did you take the trade? Why did you enter this specific stock, this specific symbol? Why did you enter the trade? And why did you sell or buy at those moments? Alrighty. I wish you good luck for now, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.